All right. Welcome back to Activated Mornings. The time is now 20 minutes onto the 9 o'clock hour. But before we get back into this morning's conversation, remember to get social and stay connected with us. You can find us on TikTok at WeFM99, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at WeFM99SVG. Also connect with us via WhatsApp at 784-457-9994. You can call us at 457-9997 as well. And of course, you listen live at 999wefm.com. Let's take a call. Hello, good morning. Okay, Caldenero, small scene. All right. Okay, so let's get back into the conversation. If you're just joining us, we're talking about that story where the 23-year-old man, should I say man? Young man? Because I don't think real good men do these sort of things where a woman trusts you enough to have a relationship with you, and because you've broken up or whatever grievance you have, you betray that trust and you do what is in your quote-unquote power will to defame her character and share images of her privates to the rest of the world so that you could get back at her for something. That is weakness. I can't call you a man this morning. But yeah, he was charged and he was fined for the act. And that's what we're talking about. $1,000. I don't think that's enough money, but
yes, though the average would have been $100,000. But I think that this may be the first case. I think it was the fine was kind of a warning. It's up to $100,000. Now, Christal, every day men and women break up for one reason. Yeah, relationships go wrong. And in a different context, as it breaks up, a man may decide he's going to beat the woman physically. Or he may decide to throw her out of the house or whatever the case might be, you know, where she's on the street or so. Or he might decide to sexually assault her, rape. All these things are wrong. And with the event of social media, the use of the tool of the computer or phone or whatever, electronic communications they call it, that has been used as well. Yes, Sam? And so they've devised these special laws that if you use that method, so there are laws in relation to if you sexually assault your ex-girlfriend or you physically punch her, there are laws relating to that. You know what I mean? And so they brought in laws, if you use the means of electronic means to attack her, whether mentally or whatever the case may be, then those are crimes too.
right.
And yes, go ahead.
So it means that in any way you try to violate somebody,
yes,
you can be prosecuted.
you can be prosecuted.
So you are not safe online.
It's not that yeah, absolutely
Right. As in you are not protected
no.
from being held accountable for what you say and do.
That was in the
If you go
past.
online.
That was in the past. Now this case and the prosecution shows that you are accountable.
Right. You can be held accountable,
be
which
held
means that you're
accountable,
not
yes.
protected from.
Oh, right. So
You know.
before the act was passed, somebody could say, I didn't do it. And there was no law to bring you because you didn't physically hit the person and you didn't sexually assault the person. So therefore, there was a loophole. And because of the new technology, there was a loophole. And so now there's a protection. I'm really glad this case has come through.
Okay. So the article says here, right? All right. For the offense, the magistrate ordered him to pay a fine of $1,000 in 1 month.
Yeah.
But to go work hard for that money there.
Or 3 months in jail.
Or spend 3 months in jail.
Yeah.
And he was also charged with damaging a cellular phone and a laptop.
Yeah.
And he was ordered to compensate the complainant in the sum of $500
Yeah.
by the day after Valentine's, or watch your time. you definitely ain't gonna do nothing for Valentine's because the money that you might probably put aside to take some other young woman out, you can't do that anymore. So you better stop home. Yeah, or spend 3 months in prison. If he fails to pay the sums, the sentences will run concurrently, not consecutively, which means that he would spend 3 months in jail and not both of them put together, not six. All right. Now it says here, right? He faced a maximum penalty of $100,000
Yeah.
or imprisonment for 2 years, or both.
Yeah.
If the matter appeared before the High Court, he could have faced a fine of $250, 250,000, or imprisonment for 5 years, or both. So, depending on which court you go to,
Yes, yes, yes. So imagine
the
this stuff goes to,
maximum,
it goes to magistrate court, or if it goes to the, but
what determines which court you go to?
yes, I'm not absolutely sure.
Okay.
I'm not absolutely sure. It may
Okay.
be the way in which the person filed the case and their lawyers filed the case, you know? And, you know, going to the High Court can take a long time because of the back. I don't say that there's any backlog of cases, but, you know, but going through this means going to the magistrate court and so forth, you're likely to get a much quicker resolution and so forth if all the parties are present and all the issues are worked out. You know?
Yep. But it sends a strong message, and I know people do it from time to time, and they do it on purpose. They would either take out images or they would either receive and then they would share. So the fact that this shows that there is a possibility that you could be prosecuted for that unlawful act, I hope that people will get the message and cut it out.
Yes.
And you would notice that is women. Women are the ones who are being violated mostly.
Women are violated mostly in relation to the physical stuff. I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to surprise you.
I was referring to the images.
I know, I'm going to surprise you. There have been a number of cases elsewhere where these things have been published. And can I say this on radio? Can I say this on radio? I'm not sure.
You want to ask me? I say this? The fact that you're asking is probably not to be said.
Listen. Where a male it's been shown, the person's done it to show that a male is undersized. You understand? You know what I'm talking about? And that, don't be fooled that is only done for females. It's also done for males.
I said mostly.
So that there's a person, Wiener. His wife worked for Hillary Clinton, and he sent around images of his private area in his underpants just before the election, if you remember, right? You don't remember that,
No,
right?
no,
in
no.
America. And someone shared that. Now, there was a possibility of that person sharing it accused, but he's the one who actually initiated it, you know, in the first place. What I'm getting at is that don't be fooled that it is just men who get angry at women. That's what happened in this case. Women.
So sometimes
can
it
get angry
happens, but
with
in terms
women.
of frequency,
Yes.
women are violated far more than men are.
Yes, absolutely. That is true. That's true.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that men would use that as another form of control. So he would try
Yeah.
to ridicule her.
Mhm.
She trusted you enough, and this is another debate to whether or not she should have given him the opportunity or presented sort of the opportunity for this to happen. But if you're in a relationship with somebody and they trust you enough, then
Yes.
don't jeopardize and violate that trust
Yes.
just because you're hurt. Shinawaya,
That's right.
get
That's
another
right.
woman.
That's right. That's right.
Move on.
Now I was before at the beginning of the debate, I was trying to expand this from just the exposure of private pictures to a broader area to give you an idea of what are some of these illegal crimes. First of all, if you gain illegal access to someone's computer, if you try to damage another person's data in a computer, if you intercept people's data, you understand? A data is supposed to come to you, you intercept it. And so if there's, as I said, damage of a computer system, now, what about espionage? What if someone were to try to get information from the Prime Minister's office or one of the ministers and so forth to send to somebody else, whether somebody local or what? Somebody's paid to do that. Those are crimes. And then what about the interference? You put in electronic kind of static to stop somebody from sending. If I interfere with your Wi-Fi, so you can't get Wi-Fi here at WFM, and the signal can't go out, so that the station is sabotaged and so forth, that is a crime. And then if somebody starts to input illegal documents, if I get your letterhead or the letterhead of WFM, and I write a letter, Christal, saying I'm the greatest thing out, and sign it Christal, or sign it Susan, or sign it Jules Williams, as if like the letter's coming from WFM, that is a form of a fraud. And then if I seize your identity and I get your password and all that kind of thing, and I go to the bank or I gain something from you, identity theft is a major, major, major crime that's been happening. Then computer forgery, really the forgery. Computer fraud. But I want to just end by saying that child pornography is the most horrible thing out. You're talking about exposure part. That child doesn't know their private parts are being exposed and so forth and like that, especially if that child is engaged in some act. I shouldn't talk about this on radio, but I mean, we have to do that. All these things are crimes on the Cybercrime Act. And then, more importantly, harassment, harassment utilizing means of electronic thing. This is cyberbullying and all those other things. Christal, you can't come and harass me and so forth. You know what I mean? There are laws here indicating that if you do that, there are crimes. So I'm just adding that to the laws on violation of privacy that this particular case focuses on. People should know there are other crimes that they might well be committing or might not think is a crime that can come back to haunt them in this regard.
Could see a man's face too, but you can't see his heart. You and the person, whether it's male or female, could be doing really well, things are really nice, you appear to be really happy, and then one little thing happens, and then you see the other side of that individual.
I mean, you haven't experienced that sort of thing.
Sorry, I haven't experienced what?
You haven't experienced that sort of thing.
The other side of a person?
Yeah. No, you haven't.
No comment there. Yeah. But realistically speaking, and these things do happen. You see it here, this story here. You see it in other stories where women have been abused physically.
Shot, stabbed recently.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah, I don't know what is going on with some of our men. You may not physically violate a woman, but to try to ruin her character after the relationship has ended. Now, let me throw in something else here concerning relationships, toxic relationships. There was a story last week in the newspaper. The mother of the first woman who lost her life this year, Altavia, she advised women to leave abusive relationships. Now, when I read it, at first, it was sound advice, good advice. If you're in an abusive relationship, just go ahead and get out. However, it's not always as straightforward. It's not always as easy, while it is the best thing to do. And we've had this conversation from time and time again with professionals. Seek help from professionals. before, because sometimes leaving that toxic relationship, the guy may not be able to take it. So you have to have a plan. If the relationship is extremely toxic and he has threatened you before or something like that, sometimes men do it just to hold you sorry, just to hold you hostage or to intimidate you or to scare you, but they don't really mean it because they're very weak. And some men say it because they actually mean it. You don't know what he's thinking, you don't know what he's planning, and he's probably told you from time and time again, if you only leave me XYZ. Just getting up and leaving without a proper plan may not be the best thing for you. And it's not to scare you, to make you say, okay, I really cannot leave the relationship. It is possible, but privately, you seek the assistance and guidance of professionals who can guide you and who can use maybe state resources depending on the severity of the relation of the severity of the toxicity and abuse. Get help from people who know how to
I
help
agree.
you.
I agree. And you know, here in St. Vincent, there's also crisis houses, at least a crisis house that somebody will be able to stay by, um, getting that isolation. Clearly, if somebody's working, they might still have to go to work, but making that break can be difficult if there are individuals who can retaliate. We live in societies sometimes where men can get heckled by other friends, or this woman left you and so forth. And
Yeah.
they feel the loss of esteem by their peers, their friends, and so means that they have to go and do something. Machismo in certain cultures in South America, a man responding and beating a woman or whatever is considered to be legal, to be normal.
Really?
Yes. And, in terms of certain parts of Africa where they performed violations, mutilation of parts of the female organs so that they will not feel any pleasure, from it out. These things take place.
Shouldn't.
And of course, there are lots of cultural things that take place around the world. I'm glad that St. Vincent is a society whereby, these people have to be held responsible for those particular type of actions. You hear in certain, I got to say this, in certain parts of India and so forth, that women rape and so forth, it's hardly reported because of the stigma it brings to the woman for being raped. So I just want
Victim shaming, victim blaming, it's your
yeah.
fault kind of thing.
Yes.
Ridiculous. All right. We got 2 minutes on to the 9 o'clock hour. I'm going to play a voice note here from somebody. All right.
Hi, Christal. Good morning. This is
Morning.
Mary. Yes, I haven't called you all for a while, right? But I listen every day.
Thank
And
you.
what I have to say this morning, I just want you to have a blessed and a productive day today. Have a wonderful day. It's something I always have, and I, keep listening to you all. It doesn't matter who are there before and who we were gravitated to and all of that. It's one thing about we FM workers. Even if there's someone that are not there, that they're absent, the person who pick up after that person always still edify us, keep us informed, and it's like you're not really missing out on anything. Okay, and I am so happy and so glad that you all are so responsible, and you all love so much that you are doing such a good thing for that station, because it's like the void does be filled, you know and we always we always tune in, because we know from day to day that we're gonna be hearing a lot of things, and we're gonna be educated there, edify, and we're not gonna be like just listening to just the music. There's so much other things that VFM come with, full package. So I just have to say thanks to the management and staff of VFM, and thank you for all y'all for over the years that I've been listening to y'all from the time the station started till
Wow.
this day.
Wow.
I always make it my way to tune in, even if when I go abroad, I do tune in VFM
Hey.
also. So it is so good, that knowing that I'm listening to a station. There's some program that I really don't listen to because of I had taken another road in my life, another step in my life. So like certain music I really don't listen to.
Okay.
So my thing I listen like from 6 in the morning right up until about 10 when y'all come on.
Okay. Thank you so much. Isn't that sweet?
It's interesting.
From the inception.
Hmm.
That's 25 years plus. Because it's going to be 26 this year.
Yes.
All right.
Interesting.
And with that, we're going to take a break. It's 9:01, so we're going to bring to you at this time compliments the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the ECCB bank rates for today.
Brick by brick, piece by piece,